Support WrestleTalk!
Donate on Patreon.
Undertaker and Shawn Michaels appears to have been set up. I'm Ollie Davis. This is El Fakador Laurie Blake. Welcome to the WrestleRamble review edition of Super ShowDown, where, let's get it out the way, yes, we are in our new studio.
Hominy.
And yes.
Wow, it's so fancy.
Yeah, you can't see it. You can't see the fancy bits. Yeah. So we'll add stuff.
Yeah,
this is literally the first day. The paint dried on the floor 3 hours ago. We're pretty high on fumes. Yeah, but
they also painted the floor in the other room when we were watching Super ShowDown, so you couldn't escape the fumes. And I wonder if some of the things that we're going to talk about I've imagined now.
Yeah, so there was this, of course, Undertaker Shawn Michaels and that blue rabbit setup. Like the big giant blue rabbit.
The dragon guy.
The dragon
Do you
guy.
remember him?
I did see the dragon guy.
And he came out and he was eating rice and it was really weird.
I want to know where Renee Young got the head of Byron Saxton. When did that happen?
Yeah. And the Minotaur guy, he was crazy.
Guy it's just WCW gimmicks coming back, isn't it? But the actual stuff that happened was a mythical dead man and his demon brother taking on a guy who retired 10 years ago.
Yeah, and Paul from the back office.
Paul from back office, not actually that more insane than our paint-fueled hallucinations.
Not really, no.
So this was... Yeah, we both said this was a surprisingly good match. I felt the overall story of this, apart from Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy, was every match could have lost 5 minutes, and it would have been better for it.
Every match could have lost 5 minutes. Everything that involved tagging could have involved way less hot tag. Like, so much less hot, apart from New Day and The Bar, obviously, which was an amazing match.
That was trim, yeah.
And that was really tight. But like all the other tag matches milked every hot tag for all that it was worth, wasn't it? It was just... And then it was not a hot tag because everyone had been like, oh my God, I don't even care anymore. Tag John Cena in, who cares?
Well, the crowd got tired. I mean, it's a 4-hour show.
Yeah.
We were tired. And yeah, I think you want to vary up the kinds of matches more. And that's why Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy felt so alive. And the main event, I'd argue. But everything else was essentially the same structure of working over the babyface, or in AJ Styles, Samoa Joe's case, working over the heel. But that was good. But anyway,
it was actually his knee. They were
back to Taker and Triple H was the match. So they have this epic brawl. Not many. It was weird seeing Taker take a lot of back bumps. There was one moment where he was like it was a spine buster from Triple H, I would think, and I was just like, oh my God, he's really wrestling again.
Yeah.
I thought these days were over, but a hip replacement later. And
he's good as new.
Yeah, get him in there.
Like I said, it didn't seem like for a bit it didn't look like he would make it to the ring because it was such a long ramp as well, and it took his entrance is famously slow anyway. But like him,
4 minutes.
Him ambling down. Get him a Segway. Let's get him down there quickly, or drop him off. Someone
Segways.
Yes,
yeah.
This is it. This is what they need. Well, I said the other thing they could do. Both quite famously have come out on motorbikes for events that are big enough.
As Triple H.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you mean?
Triple H.
Yeah.
No, Triple H and Undertaker both come out on motorbikes. Get them both out on motorbikes. Scrap the match. Let's just do a race.
Yes, play chicken.
I'd watch that.
And Kane and Shawn Michaels would be riding on the back, just like hugging them.
Yeah, or a little sidecar.
A sidecar's brilliant for Kane.
He looks so good. But yeah, actually, the considering that most of the time when kind of the older guys come back or Triple H makes a return, like Triple H and John Cena at, what was that last one called?
So Triple H, John Cena was a...
Great Balls of Jeddah.
Great Balls of Jeddah. Yeah. What? Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the Greatest Royal Rumble.
And the WrestleMania match with Cena and Undertaker, that was just, Taker didn't really take a bump there. And Taker didn't really take a bump against Rusev either. This was a proper 20-25 minute match.
And it felt like an Attitude Era match as well.
Yeah,
it had that very sort of similar structure where it kind of devolves very quickly into a brawl. There's not a lot of wrestling moves, but everyone does their main ones. And then it's mostly beating each other up around the ring, in the crowd, and then you get out the weapons, and it's just who can hit each other the hardest, which is my favourite bit of watching, well, in this match it was specifically because Triple H had terribly bad sunburn. They're just wailing on him.
Yeah, the sounds that Taker got off those chair shots was probably the loudest of the night, and that's louder than Joe's chops on AJ, and Buddy Murphy's high knees.
Yeah, it was like he was slapping a ham.
Slapping a big
Slapping a big old ham.
Pull from back office.
Pull from the back
Hammy
office,
pull.
getting hammed up.
But so this was a no DQ match, and the way they announced this was brilliant, I thought, where it's Triple H and Taker are squaring off in the ring. The crowd, it feels big time, and JoJo goes, and this is also now a no DQ match. And it has this shot of The Undertaker, who doesn't do his, when you think of The Undertaker rolling his eyes, you think of a more demonic possession kind of appearance. But this was, okay. And then it cuts to Triple H, who's doing this really subtle smirk, like, it's no DQ. I'm going to hit you in the face with a sledgehammer.
I really enjoyed cocky Triple H for the first 5 minutes of this match, where he was just playing up dodges and he was really gurning for it, and it was really good. I really enjoyed that kind of seeing him be that character again.
It had a big fight boxing feel to it, and I love it when wrestling embraces that side of things. When Triple H put his hands behind his back and was like, "Come on, hit me in the face, Taker." But yes, this was all really good stuff. It started with that one-upmanship of Taker and Triple H, trading old school attempts, and then the brawl around, and then you get HBK and Kane getting involved. Kane gets put through a table. Shawn Michaels occasionally distracts Taker, and the finish is after Shawn Michaels had been properly laid out by Taker. Shawn Michaels super kicks Taker to the back of the head. Triple H hits Taker with a sledgehammer, a sweet-chin music to the front of the face, and then a pedigree for the win. So Taker did not lose anything there. No, I thought there was some great near falls as well.
Yeah, well, they both kicked when they both kicked out of finishes as well.
Yeah,
it was just a really well worked match that actually was really fun to watch. When you'd be like, oh, the Undertaker's coming back from retirement. This is going to be a horror story because the man can barely walk. And there was a point where he teased doing the dive as well.
Over the top rope.
I literally shot back in my chair no! Yeah. I thought we were going to be watching a literal dead man, and then they'd have to Weekend at Bernie's him through the rest of the match. But yeah, fortunately, he didn't do the dive. So.
Or Liv Morgan her.
Yeah.
Him through the rest of the match.
Yeah, my God, yeah.
Because he could barely do those dives a decade ago when he head-butted the floor and left a dent in it. Let's not forget that bit. But yeah, it's when they bill it as a last time ever, this was built as a big deal. I felt like it delivered.
Yeah, I think it was. It was because we were joking before it started that it was going to go on for ages because the Daniel Bryan and the Miz match had run fairly short. So we were like, but we know this is ending in basically an hour's time by the time Daniel Bryan and the Miz started at what was the time here? 1,
yeah,
and was done by 1:05. And I was like, but there's 55 minutes of this show left. Fortunately, the entrances, because of the ramp being so long, took 20 minutes. But then, they dragged it out. This match went on for, must have been close to 30 minutes or over.
But it's the last time ever in a singles capacity, but the post-match angle where they all celebrated, which was a bit weird because I thought Shawn Michaels has been a thorn in your side throughout this match, Taker, and now you're all holding hands and fireworks are going off, and I was worried they were going to go off air there, but
then so then they do all raising hands, and they turn around to all the corners of the ring, but on the last one, as they drop hands, Taker doesn't let go of Triple H and then just drags him in for a tombstone. Kane takes out Michaels at this point, drops the tombstone, they go out the ring, and then they put Michaels through a table just to make the point you shouldn't have interfered here. And then obviously we'll have the setup for Crown Jewel. I'm assuming that's when they're doing this tag match. So
yeah, that's been the reported plan by Meltzer and the like for at least 3 weeks now. So I think we'll get that Crown Jewel match, the tag match.
And then it's a singles match between Michaels and Undertaker is the next rumour for Survivor Series, what they saying?
They said it will definitely be before WrestleMania was the current discussions, and that's either Royal Rumble or Survivor Series. I quite like it at Survivor Series as this nice over a month and a half long story. But yeah, it looks like that's been set up.
Finish it before Taker's knees give out.
Yeah, let's just do this as quickly as possible.
Come on.
But yeah, I was sniffy about Undertaker's return. I don't think they're going to be able to. I want to see Shawn Michaels back in a wrestling match, but I don't need to see any of these guys back.
No.
But let's indulge the young fans.
Well, and I guess the problem is as well because like the last time Michaels came back, what a run he had! Like that was some of his best work was in the last time he returned from a pseudo retirement, to the ring. So like I just don't imagine that this could ever live up to that.
Unless,
yeah,
because when Shawn Michaels did take a bump here and there, his selling is
so good,
otherworldly. There was a glimpse of it from Monday Night Raw when he just leans up after taking that choke slam and really arches his back to be like, I'm in pain.
He was selling the length of the ramp.
Yeah,
on the way to the ring, he was just kept stopping and being like.
So maybe like he can restart. Maybe he comes back for 3 matches and he's like, you know what? I like this. I think I've got a year in me, and that year turns into 2. That 2 years turns into 4, and we get an even better Shawn Michaels because he's shifted his technique again into this purely psychological style of wrestling. He just always sells.
Yeah, I just think let's just do these matches and then let's leave him retired.
Or that as well.
Please.
The show kicked off, in your words, as close to the pre-show as it possibly could be.
It wasn't the pre-show for the New Day for once, finally, but it is physically as close to the pre-show as you could be. They will never, I don't feel that they ever escape you are the warm-up.
Yeah.
I mean, they are an amazing warm-up, and they get a huge pop, and they get a massive response, which is why they're being used like this, but it must be frustrating to always be the warm-up.
They're a really good opening act.
Yeah, they are.
But they're a really good act in any place in the card. But yeah, I feel like they're a victim of their own success and charisma.
Well, the problem is because Big E has always done the announcement, and they're just like, it just saves JoJo a job, doesn't it?
But fly JoJo in a bit later.
Yeah,
she's going to miss it.
Yeah.
So this was New Day versus The Bar for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. It's Xavier and Kofi in the lineup.
The speed format.
And yet this was a really good opener. You couldn't really ask for much more from it. It had the titles on the line. There were some great spots from Cesaro and Sheamus, particularly this Sheamus launching of, I believe it was Kofi, into the Cesaro uppercut, which looked awesome. And Xavier and Kofi were really good as well. Kofi did this kind of springboard tummy off the top rope splash right off the get-go.
It's really fun.
There was a great bit when the whole crowd were chanting along with Sheamus's chops over the chest, and he stops at 4, and everyone went, "What? Boo!" That was really good. That's a heel thing. Yeah. And this was really when I noticed there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Because that crowd extended forever.
They'd sort of done it with like tiered colours basically. So it was like the front guys were well lit, and then there was a section of like guys in shadow, and then there was a section of people in sort of purpley blue light, and then there was another section of lit people, and then shadow. And it's like, I can see all the gradations of the people going back.
It's like a rainbow.
Yeah, this is like it's like really deep focus.
It was Woods into the Cesaro uppercut because Cesaro then got him into the Cesaro swing, and Corey Graves had that great call of it doesn't go the other way down under.
I've checked. Yeah, that was great.
I've checked, yeah.
Whereas Renee Young was banging on about flat whites for most of this match.
Yeah, she'd read a 1-page primer on stuff that happens in Australia. Vegemite, she also referenced. She said that she hoped the pancakes were made with Vegemite. Is that how Vegemite works?
I don't know.
It's like a spread, isn't it?
I think I guess you
like a Marmite.
Spread it on the top. Served with Vegemite.
I don't know. I don't think.
It's gross, so who knows?
But then there was a few near falls. Cesaro's feet were knocked off the ropes by Kofi, and an excellent finish. Sheamus is taken out by outside, and Xavier does a backstabber on Cesaro, leaves him there in a kind of rack position, and Kofi does a double stomp on Cesaro, who is on Xavier's knees. Yeah. Which would really hurt Xavier.
Yeah. It's a really good move.
But it was a great finish. But that was, a great opener.
It'll be called some video game reference at some point.
Yeah, that I don't get. Yeah. Up, up, down, harder.
Up, down, down, A and start together.
Cool.
Well, up, down, left, right, A and start together.
Next up, we got Charlotte versus Becky. And this was where the night started to turn into every match will be someone getting worked over for an extended period of time. This match went on too long for me. They really framed Becky Lynch as the heel in the video package, on commentary, and the whole crowd are cheering her.
Yeah.
It's such a disconnect.
Well, they had to turn the mics down on her entrance as well.
Is that what you think
that's why?
happened?
Well, because Charlotte came out and you could hear the crowd, and they popped pretty big for Charlotte. And then Becky came out, and it literally felt like they just faded the sound down because you would think they were either going to be cheering or booing. They're not going to be dead silent, are they?
Yeah,
so
when you
can't hear anything, you just have to assume like they must have turned the mics down here to continue to sell this story, because it just felt like all you could hear was her music playing.
Yeah, especially Becky has been getting the loudest reactions in most places. So, but this match I thought was it dragged.
It was a bit dry.
And it ends with Becky trying to leave with the title. Charlotte throws her in, gets the figure 4 in, tries to bridge up for the figure 8, but Becky uses the title to knock her off. It's a DQ loss. So Charlotte wins, but there's no titles that change hands. The crowd cheered Becky using the title to get disqualified.
Yep.
And then Charlotte attacked Becky afterwards. That got booed. And then Becky
turned it round again.
And she got cheered. So.
Just let Becky maul Charlotte. Let's put a line under this. Have Becky maul Charlotte Evolution. Draw a line under this, and let's have the next person come along.
Yeah, It's and then as Becky was walking off, just to hammer home the point more, Renee Young said on commentary, "This is when she gets back there, she's not going to be celebrating with any friends." Because she's turned her back on all of that women's locker room.
Becky, no, mates.
Look, she's got the title. Why do you keep on having to make women's division storylines about friendships? Because that's the most important thing for combat athletes. Friends. Yeah. I'm sure she's got friends at home. Why can't she hang out with them?
She's got other mates,
Yeah, she just doesn't. She's not friends with the people she has to fight.
I'm not friends with anyone I work with.
Exactly.
So
Laurie hates us. You tell us a lot. You don't need to keep texting it to me when we're every Sunday. Then we got.
Just like to keep you informed.
The best moment of this night. Elias and Kevin Owens.
I thought it could have been the pies thing. It wasn't the pies thing.
Pies
the pies was also rude.
Later.
That definitely felt like paint fumes.
Yeah, I hope that did happen.
Because I've talked about it in another video
we're
now.
We're going to pitch it.
Yeah.
So Elias and Kevin Owens do the Elias shtick. Kevin Owens is actually very good in this role, I think, alongside Elias. It's such a waste of him. But he's so good, he makes it work.
I love we're just a couple of great guys.
The great guys thing is,
it's just like it's using the sort of I'm a nice guy trope from the internet very, very well.
We're great guys.
Just a couple of great guys.
And then Bobby Lashley comes out, and then Cena's music hits. So we haven't seen him since Greatest Royal Rumble when he faced Triple H. He's been making movies since then.
In China.
And he left without much hair.
China, yeah.
It was short. It was going at the back. And he has returned with hair.
Not his. It's not his.
It's quite unique. It's a look. Andy Datson, one of the website writers, said it was a JBL look.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't unsee it.
He looks like his mum styled him for his first day at school. Is how I feel. It's just, it doesn't even suit. It's wrong for his gimmick. You look at it and you're just like, you need a different hairstyle. Or stop wearing the gangstery. Yeah, I know they've obviously turned into more of like a cartoon gangster clothes, but they were meant to be like street in the first instance when he was wearing them. And now, he's now takes it off and he's got someone who works in a factory kind of like haircut.
In management.
Like the middle manager. He's got the middle manager mum haircut.
We're not ones to criticize people's hair. I'm going, Luke's going, you've gone.
I'm gone.
You've gone for it. You've switched it round to the bottom of the face. And but it's impossible. I think he's been cloned. I don't think this is actually John Cena. I think he's realised I've got too much on my plate, And he's found out this is what Rock the Dwayne Johnson has also done. He's created an army of clones. How else is Rock eating that? I think you've got a cheat day Rock who can post about all the food he eats. And then you've got another Rock that makes, well, you've got a few Rocks that make movies, some that make TV shows. But yeah, now Cena's into it.
It's not clones for The Rock, though. They're just all CG. Like in all the films, The Rock hasn't been in a film since The Scorpion King. He's just been CG'd into film. Because they nailed it. So all they did after The Scorpion King was they just cut the scorpion bit off.
Yeah.
And that's why in films you never see The Rock's legs. Because they haven't animated The Rock's legs.
Everyone knows legs are the hardest thing to animate in CGI.
Legs and hands. That's why he's never picking anything up either.
It's hair and human hair, water, and The Rock's legs. Because there's so many individual muscles to animate. But yes, Cena's hair. If it is Cena, it's it can't really.
It's distractingly bad, is what it is. It's just.
I don't know if it's bad. It's different. It's just change. It's like
it's bad.
Is it bad?
It's bad because
I've got to sleep on it for a bit.
Well, no, because his hair. Because not only is it so much thicker and more lustrous than it was when he left, it's also a different color.
It's a deep brown.
It's a deep brown, as if it's been done. I was confused.
They match his eyebrows.
I was very confused initially whether it was like he'd come off the set of whatever he was doing, still wearing the hairpiece they would give him to be in a role, and now he's just wrestled in it as well.
Yeah, he forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but he worked it as well. That he was playing up to the hair thing.
He must know. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He knows what the internet's like. He's lived through like some of the most venomous years of WWE fan backlash. He must know if he turns up with that hairstyle, that's all that anyone's going to be talking about. We nearly called this video John Cena's hair.
John Cena's hair.
And then we thought should probably go with the bigger story.
Yeah.
As opposed to the
We'll go with the actual wrestling.
Yeah. But yeah, it's hard to talk about this match because the match was built around that Cena hot tag. Lashley was worked over forever. It was, to a then now forever. I've written hilariously in my notes. But they're building up this tag, and they finally get it. Cena gets in, and he hits shoulder tackle 1, shoulder tackle 2. Then the flippy over,
little slammy thing,
whatever that is called, 3.
The naff thing.
5 knuckle shuffle 4.
Boom.
5th move of doom, he hits the attitude adjustment, and then he debuts it on WWE TV because he has done this at a live event in China. And it's I wrote it down phonetically. The Shanti H1 toe. Shanti H1 toe. Well, I don't know what that means.
It is a punch.
Yeah, so he does this hand cross pose, and then he punches the person. You got to break that Chinese market, haven't you? There's a lot of people there.
Is it something he's doing in this film that he's been filming in China?
Oh my God, I reckon that's it.
Yeah.
It's a Jackie Chan movie he's filming.
So he's doing a punch from the film.
I mean, that's really smart. I think that's clever.
Is it? You'd be better off reaching into your pocket and producing Jackie Chan and letting him do it. Yeah, if you just throw a smoke bomb and then Jackie Chan is in the ring.
That'd be awesome.
Jackie Chan unties the ropes, starts to whip them around his head, uses his leg, kicks him with you, then hits you off the turnbuckle.
Well, the great thing about Jackie Chan is he's not like Bruce Lee. He gets hit as much as he dishes out. So some great comedy. Jackie Chan could have been a great comedy wrestler. Anyway,
what a wasted talent Jackie Chan is.
Yeah, really, really missed his calling, his true calling. But he chose to make those, very, very good films.
Rush
in the
Hour.
80s. So
Shanghai Nights.
They're fun to watch at Christmas when there's nothing. When you just you're too.
They're very
drunk.
very Christmassy.
So that's all Cena did wrestling wise. He got the pin off of 6 moves, didn't take a bump, and then he cuts a promo, like you said, not referencing anyone else in this match. But he said, "Thank you for allowing me to come to your country tonight and compete." It was just this stupidly weird, humble thing.
I'm surprised you have a stadium here. Yeah. It's amazing.
Which worked for the greatest Royal Rumble because it was kind of like that, an honour-based society, I imagine. But this is Australia.
Australia's like, yeah, we've been here ages.
Yeah, they're full of bants.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to be this sincere.
You don't know. They don't care.
But he said he doesn't know what the future holds. His life's changing right now. I can see by the hair. So it was kind of like teasing retirement without saying retirement.
Yeah, it definitely did seem like he was sort of halfway.
But he's been doing this for about a year now. He did this a year ago with Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns beat him up No Mercy. He sort of cut that retirement thing. Anyway, next up we had some Australian tourist board adverts, and then what everyone is talking about,
the pies,
the meat pie advert.
What was it? What? I don't understand.
Should we run through what this was in case this might not have been on people's feeds?
There wasn't even a slogan. So what happens is it opens with Naomi walking down a hotel corridor. She goes into her hotel room, and there is a trail of rose petals on the floor. All romantic. Dead romantic, if you're a cliche. And then it leads past 2 freshly poured glasses of champagne.
Which, yeah.
Also a bad idea because she didn't know what time she was turning up. So they might have got warm by the time she gets there. Terrible. Leave it in the ice bucket. Then the rose petal goes all the way to the bed. On the bed, a love heart of rose petal.
Yeah.
Oh. She was feeling hot under the collar after that, wasn't she?
She's getting excited.
And she goes into the bathroom, and in a bath, in his pants, is Jimmy Uso. And he's eating a pie. And he says, "Oh, hey, babe. Didn't hear you come in."
And he had the biggest grin on his face.
Yeah.
Like he almost...
He had a pie-eating grin on his face, didn't he?
So let's just take... This is, of course, a funny joke. Someone thinks it's going to be a romantic evening, but they find out their other half loves pie so much they've treated the pie to a romantic evening.
I'm just going to say... When you have to say this is a funny joke and then explain exactly what's happened, it's not a funny joke.
It's an objectively hilarious thing.
It is a subjectively funny joke.
But it just came off as weird, and it made me it started asking too many questions.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Jimmy wanted to be caught with the pie. Like, this all fits into the...
And is it an American Pie scene that's happened?
No, because that would be all the bath would be full of the petals.
Oh, right, yeah.
And there'd just be a plastic bag floating around the room. Now, I think so. To me, this says that Jimmy Uso's ultimate fantasy is having his wife walk in on him masturbating on a pie, and they all just they just go for it. Wasn't even sorry about it. And the perfect build.
It's called short crusting.
The filling.
Yeah.
Was to Naomi's tag match.
Yeah, but it cut to the pie people from Pie Time in the crowd.
They'd won a competition.
That's what it seemed like.
Australia's great.
I just don't know. Like, there wasn't even a slogan for the pie. Like, there wasn't like they paid this off with like, some slogans like... There was an end
card that said, hit it by this pie.
Yeah, but did it say like, it's better than your wife, who's Naomi from WWE?
Yeah. No, they didn't say that. No, that would be very specific.
Best enjoyed in the bath.
With, just a very romantic setting.
Like, bangable pies. Like, what? Just any slogan. Like, not just right, it's pie time. As if, like, I understand. Well. Yeah, it was a tiny
handheld pie. But, yeah. And the pie guys, people who won a competition to sit at ringside, dressed all in bright yellow. And they were dressed
in Naomi's gear.
Yeah. I feel like Australia does Britishness better than, like, that kind of Britishness, pies and loutishness, better than we do sometimes. And sports. So
you need to go up north. There's pies up there.
Tied in terribly to Asuka and Naomi versus the IIconics, which was, it was rubbish. I thought the IIconics come out, they cut a promo being baby faces, and it's great to be back here. It's great to be home.
It was stilted.
It was a rubbish promo, and they're really good. And They're usually a really good promo, and I imagine their feeling is genuine that they're very happy.
Yeah.
So why did it feel so wooden?
Because they were doing the wrong. Because their normal thing is that they do the sort of mean girls Mickey taking of whoever they're up against, and instead they just had to be actually genuine about where they were, but in a way that was scripted by WWE. So it was all overly dramatic pauses.
Yes.
And lame. I don't know. It was such a weird. It was a weird setup, and it's stupid as well because people popped for them at the end. People popped for them when they came out. Then the promo sort of killed the atmosphere. The match itself was naff and killed the atmosphere, and then people popped when they won.
And the IIconics worked heel. So you had that babyface opening, the babyface close, but those babyfaces were working heel for the majority of the match. And then they did a bit in the middle randomly where they both went, IIconic! And then did a superhero pose.
And then Asuka and Naomi did a little dance together.
Which was also lame. But it was a nice moment.
And Naomi was dressed as a tennis ball.
Yes. It was. You called it right. It was painful to look at, those colours.
It was really hard. It's like a really... It's like it's got a glow about it, but it's got the sort of glow that makes it like strange. It's like looking directly into these lights.
Yeah, but the
afterburn.
The IIconics hugged each other at the end, and that felt genuine, and I was very happy for them when they did that. But yeah, rubbish match. Yeah. AJ Styles beat Samoa Joe next in a corking match.
Yeah,
again,
I really liked it.
5 minutes too much, I thought, but overall, I liked the story. I liked the hardcore spots when they started, and I thought so you've got like a normal match for the first half, and then it changes when the chairs and the tables get introduced, and then Samoa Joe very quickly gets kayfabe injured. He says he felt a pop. I didn't know if it was in his knee or his hip, and AJ snaps and starts working that over, and I thought, okay, this is going to be the finish, but actually it went on about another 5 minutes after that, and that was really good because I thought Joe might actually win. They went too far into it. It's the 5 minutes from the start I would have cut. I was like, well, this is a no DQ match. Joe's working over AJ. He should be getting a chair right now.
Yeah, so the brawl outside initially was really good, and then there was the great bit where they got back in the ring. AJ was laying in some kicks, and Joe fired up as that happened and just decked him with a hell of a chop. And then that sort of turned into a bit of back and forth there. And then they just turned into a fairly regular match for about 5 minutes. And they could have just gone straight to the outside and started chucking around chairs and tables. There was a bit where the chair didn't play ball as well. And they tried to do a uranagi onto the chair, and he just sort of somehow rolled off it.
It was, I think the chair just shot sideways rather than smushed. But yeah, that was Styles ran into the corner for a forearm, but Joe caught him into the uranagi spot, and right on a set-up chair. It was a really good match. I felt like so Joe went to get the table. The crowd had already been chanting for tables. Let AJ do that. That's the babyface spot.
Yeah.
And you're more than justified as a babyface to get a weapon when he's been invading your home and threatening your wife.
Yeah, he's had your tables.
Yeah. But the spot comes when they're going to go through the table. AJ reverses it into an electric chair spot, but rather than go back first,
go side.
Yeah, he drops Joe in through the side, and it was really good. AJ tries for the calf crusher, but Joe keeps on reversing it into the Kikina clutch. The springboard 450 from AJ right onto Joe's knee.
Yeah. There's a bit where he suplexes out of the Kikina clutch. It's like almost like it's almost like a Tazplex at that point. And he just flips him onto his head. That was incredible.
A really good near fall.
Yeah.
And Joe teased the muscle buster, but his knee buckled because it had been worked over. Then AJ rolls him into the Kikina clutch. Oh, sorry. Joe rolls him into the Kikina clutch. AJ rolls out into a pin, kick out into the calf crusher. Joe tapped. So really good match, but where do you go from here?
I think it feels like the end of the feud. I think this kind of feels like I don't think it sustains itself beyond this, in the sense that, like, I think Joe going to AJ's house is the final kind of cap on the limit of how far you can go without him breaking the law and being arrested and going too far into some of the worst Attitude Era style storylines. So I think this felt like this was the letting off steam for AJ It's a shame that it kind of happened maybe on a show that many people might not watch as well, because it's, kind of not really. It's almost like it exists outside of the canon of regular wrestling stuff. But it felt like a good finish though to this, and I wouldn't actually want to see it continue, because I think having Joe tap out and be injured kind of diminishes his monstrous power in this scenario. Like, he's always felt so vicious, and I think giving up is such a concession of defeat. Like, it's to concede too much that he'll never come back from that.
They did a lot to protect him in that he had that injury and he was selling so much, and he lasted so long afterwards. But I do agree, you tap, and that really should be the end of a feud.
I just don't think it. I mean, like, it's not. I don't think it's damaging him as a competitor in other matches with other people. No. I just think it draws a line under the AJ thing.
Yeah, because AJ's beaten him 3 times now.
Yeah, and AJ's got a match with D-Bry coming up. So
so Daniel Bryan wins very quickly in that match later on, which makes him the new #1 contender for Crown Jewel. So you go into that feud. I wouldn't be like an AJ, Joe, Daniel Bryan 3-way feud for Survivor Series. I wouldn't mind that. I think that freshens it up enough. But for now, AJ and Joe should really be over. The Bellas and Ronda Rousey versus the Riott Squad.
I think it's funny that she's like billed as the baddest woman on the planet, and she always comes out like almost in tears. So she comes out like really looking like she's about to cry in this one because she's so happy. But it's just like, I just think we should stop calling her the baddest woman on the planet until she's a heel.
No, I just think
she comes out mean. Like,
she comes out mean. That would fix this.
If she was a Shayna Baszler style character, but without being horrible. Because Shayna Baszler is obviously horrible in part of her character, because she will attack people from behind and she'll beat people down. But really, that's just like a spin out of sheer intensity, right? Like, that's almost like she's so intense that this is kind of, she goes too far. Rousey could just be the intense bit, and I think she would be a much more believable baddest woman on the planet kind of character.
Well, that's one of the shameful things about the PG era since 2008, and that WWE really does present itself and its baby faces as smiley characters. Whereas you look at the Attitude Era, everyone was pissed off with each other all the time.
Yeah.
But like the baby faces, Rock, Austin, they're annoyed. They're never smiling. But these match graphics, even the heels are smiling. Braun Strowman's got a big goofy grin on the Super ShowDown poster, which they didn't update, and they released it 3 months ago. But yes, Ronda definitely should be mean all the time. I think it'd sell more tickets through people. And then
I thought there's a bit of wasted potential in this match as well, because at the beginning they did a very small bit of setup of the idea that obviously it's rumored that the main event for Evolution will be Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella, and there's a bit of setup at the beginning of this match where they're like, no, I'll start the match. And eventually Ronda concedes and gets out of the ring, and Nikki starts the match. Nikki then immediately just gets beaten down by the Riott Squad. She then goes to make a tag and tags in Brie, and the commentators put over the idea. It's like, just because she's used to tagging in Brie, because they obviously used to team a lot, and like,
looks like
she's her sister. She trusts her. Yeah, she just goes. She's so vain. She just goes after what looks. If there was a mirror there, she would have tagged the mirror before Ronda Rousey. So they do all this, and it kind of, again, they're just working the hot tag to the point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
However, I think the Riott Squad put in a fantastic showing in this match, and they look like a very cohesive unit. Ruby Riott is great. Liv Morgan got some
improved a lot,
quite fun petty revenge as well. Like, I enjoyed. There's a bit where they've got Brie on her knees in the ring, and they tag in Liv. Liv wipes her feet on the apron, pulls a little face at Brie, steps in, and just kicks her in the head. Such great comeuppance, but then Brie then grabs her by the tongue in a weird choice of spot.
I don't know how you keep hold of a tongue.
Maybe Liv Morgan's tongue is incredibly dry.
And at the end they all just celebrate together.
Yeah, so then
Rousey and the Bellas.
And I thought that like the match when it was the Riott Squad beating down Brie and Nikki was fun in the kind of like, they're very good. The Riott Squad are very, very good. And I like seeing the Bellas not winning. And then the hot tag to Ronda Rousey was amazing. I thought that was again, she comes in and she judo throws everyone. She fires up. She lays in some punches. She goes for the armbar on Sarah Logan. However, Liv has posted Brie outside. Smacked her off the ring post, comes in, breaks up the armbar, and they go to do a double suplex, it looks like. However, Ronda grabs hold of their hands more tightly, and they're like, no, and she double judo throws them, and then she lays in a double armbar, getting them both to tap out, which I thought was, like, it's a cool way to make her mystique grow even more, I think, with Ronda Rousey. And I like seeing her built still as this, like, almost unconquerable force, because I can't wait to see who they get to beat her.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully when that person arrives who's going to be the one to topple Ronda Rousey, it's going to be epic.
So overall, a fine match. It was a bit boring in the middle.
It was a Ronda Rousey match. Unfortunately, it's that sort of thing, because they just do the same formula with her now. Like, and I think since she's got the title, they put her behind other people to be like, it's more about when Ronda gets in the ring and she wins the match. But until the point, it's I think she'll just be in tags until the end of time now, because it's keep her on the apron.
Yeah. Well, next up we had easily the best thing on the show for me, which was Buddy Murphy, the hometown boy in Australia and Melbourne. So he's from Melbourne, right? Mm-hmm. Taking on the cruiserweight champion Cedric Alexander, and so far we'd had a WWE style show in ring wrestling wise, and it's all the same structure of the baby faces getting worked over for ages. Everything felt a bit too long, but this match felt like you were watching 2018 wrestling, and that is very slick moves, very fast, and loud stuff. Like Buddy Murphy's high knees to Cedric, this massive whack. There was one moment in particular. It was just great. And Buddy was so over with the hometown crowd.
Oh yeah,
like this is what you could have had with the IIconics.
Came out in the Australian flag. Like got a huge cheer for coming in, and then basically just went straight into it. Like it was the bell rang and he'd already leapt in for a high knee to Cedric and rolled him up.
Oh yeah. And
it was amazing.
And then, Cedric kicks out, goes outside. Buddy does this amazing dive over the top rope, twisting. He goes to the ramp. Like, he skips that whole area outside around the ring and straight onto the ramp onto Cedric. It's very similar, the opening of this match, to Marty Scurll versus Will Ospreay from Fighting Spirit Unleashed the previous week, which was just Will hitting move after move after move for the first minute and a half. And then, it's, oh my God. So Murphy jumps up to the top rope to do something on Alexander. Alexander counters it into a Michinoku driver off the top rope. Yeah. It was like they were wrestling a different kind of wrestling to everyone else.
We were saying as well, like those top rope spots. Everyone else goes up there and it's markedly different in the next match when Braun goes to the top. Like to see how confident people like Murphy and Alexander are to do high spots. To see Braun climbing up the turnbuckle, but like everyone else, even people who are like do a top rope spot, spend ages getting up there doing stuff. These guys literally jumped up and he's like, I'm just going to turn you upside down now. And Murphy was like, cool. Right, that's done now.
Yeah.
Next move.
I mean, this to me is what exciting wrestling is these days. And I wish WWE would embrace it more, because it's not just the cruiserweight guys who can do this style of match on their roster.
So many people can.
Like Owens, Rollins, all that ROH class can do this match. AJ Styles built his name on doing these kinds of matches a decade ago. But just amazing sequences. Huge knee from Buddy Murphy. Some excellent near falls from Alexander. A standing Spanish fly from Alexander straight into a lumbar check onto Murphy. And I was like...
Everyone was like, that's done.
Yeah, it's done. And then our feed freaking broke. And we were on the edge of our seat as the referee's hand was coming down, switched it to the mobile internet, and he kicked out. Yeah. I was like, why aren't these guys showcased like this on Raw?
Yeah, well, it's so annoying that the cruiserweights were on Raw back when they were told, don't be cruiserweights. Don't do any flips, don't do anything that shows up the other guys. And now that they're allowed to be cruiserweights and actually do all the stuff that they're really good at, they don't get to be on Raw. And that would be the perfect padding for this 3-hour show that doesn't have enough matches in it.
Yeah, totally.
You could have you do the first hour of Raw, which is the most watched hour, and you've got all your, you start it off with your Ambrose or your Rollins or your Roman Reigns coming out and banging on about whatever they're banging on about. Set up your match for the end of the show. Then you have like a pretty good match, and then you have this whole middle hour where nothing really happens. And it's
the Ascension.
Yeah, you had the Ascension hour.
Sasha Banks and Bayley.
And in that match, why not these guys doing like brilliant stuff?
And then like you make that a weekly thing. Oh, I'm going to tune into Raw because I know there will at least be one amazing wrestling match.
Yeah.
I think, but that's what the Cruiserweights used to be for WCW. It's a broken record. So Buddy Murphy hits this huge knee off of an Alexander springboard, which was incredible. Hits the Murphy's Law, and which is a great finisher.
I love it.
And he wins. The crowd go ballistic. So watching this, I was like, this might be a coming of age for 205 Live. Like this was everything else has been on the pre-show really of any pay-per-views. And people have been watching it. And I don't always watch it. I watch the good, like, if someone says there's a great match, I'll watch it. And Buddy Murphy's usually in.
Yeah.
But I felt like this was, to the larger WWE audience of Raw and SmackDown, hey, this is what's happening. They just stole the show.
Yeah, you should check these guys out.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, like, it's a show-stealing match. It was probably, maybe at least the second best one that those two have done. Their other meeting was equally, probably just joint first, equally as good. And in front of a home crowd of 70,000 people, he wins the title. What more perfect a moment for like the coronation of a champion?
Yeah.
Could you even imagine? Apart from maybe having him chase it for a little bit longer, but obviously it feels like realistically looking back on that match they had a while ago when Buddy Murphy's star was on the rise. Obviously, you kind of picture in the back of your mind that these talks for this show were happening, and they just said, we're going to have to park this right now because you're going to want to win in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they totally made the right call. And, I mean, we were just talking after the match, like, if you now want to bring the Cruiserweights onto Raw, and Alexa Bliss is injured, Bliss is, the real-life wife of Buddy Murphy, like, they could be
at least.
They could be, whatever they are, they're together. They could be a great act. Yeah. Then we got the Shield versus the Dogs of War. The Dogs of War. So another fail for Sports Illustrated. They said this was going to be the main event. We might stop covering anything they report soon because they haven't been right for about 9 months. But the Shield come out in separate parts of the crowd, which I thought it looked really cool, and it kind of had a visual bit of storytelling because this Roman and Seth have won singles titles.
Yeah, and they come
Dean's
out with their
by
belts.
himself. Yeah. So I liked that as a
Dean couldn't even get a mask that fit.
Yeah.
So they not only did he get no, he's not got a belt, but the other guys stiffed him on the masks because their ones fit slightly better, and they were like, "No, Dean, you're going to have the one with the nose poking out."
So this was the match again after that great Buddy Alexander match was back to baby faces getting worked over, and it just Seth was worked
so much
over forever, and then I'm like, okay, the hot tag's coming. Dean tags in. The crowd were tired. There wasn't much of a pop at all, and Dean only had another singles match with Dolph in that little moment, and then it built to another hot tag, and then they got Roman in, and it got good near the end when Braun. There was this great spot where it's Roman takes out Dean by accident when Drew moves out the way. Roman hits Dean with a Superman punch, so Ambrose is out for a bit. Roman and Seth find themselves in the middle of the ring, and the Dogs of War surround the ring, even though there's an empty apron on one side.
It's the fourth wall, mate.
Yeah.
you have to just believe it's there.
Well, for once, it actually gets filled.
Yeah, I know, they actually built the wall.
Because opposite the hard cam, somehow, behind Strowman, so you kind of have to crane your neck to see it, Ambrose gets up on the apron, and there's a moment where it looks like Ambrose is siding with the Dogs of War. And they played it perfectly. Ambrose milked that facial expression for everything it's worth. And then he gets in and he dives straight onto Braun. And, judge him by his actions was what he said on Raw, not by anything else. And he's with the Shield. And Dean picked up the win. No?
Oh, yeah, no, he did.
Ambrose
so
won.
he... Braun was going to do the pounce on him, and then Roman intercepts with a spear through the barricade, and then Dean finds his way back into the ring where Ziggler and McIntyre come at him trying to do the zigzag claymore. Seth jumps in, super kicks McIntyre, taking him out, which gives Dean the opening to do the dirty deeds and pick up the win. So actually, at the end of this, after all the heel turn consideration stuff, it seems like the reparations have been made and the Shield are sticking about for a while.
And I love that style of storytelling, to be told so succinctly through physicality. Like, you know, Dean nearly turned on them. No words were said, no promos were needed here, but now you know Roman saved Dean, Seth saved Dean. And so, yeah, I thought that, but it was too long.
They're going to make him a belt for next week, though. That's the true sign of friendship. They'll make him a little Shield belt that he can have.
Best friend belt.
Yeah, best runner-up.
Yeah.
Best first runner-up.
Most improved. So then we got Daniel Bryan versus The Miz in what was kind of billed as the final match. Not the final match, but this is their third encounter since this feud started.
Yeah, the third encounter since the feud started, and for the biggest prize that they've been able to go after so far, which is number one contendership for AJ's title. So, you know, there were stakes here, and this felt, and you know, this was also billed above the actual match for that title. That they to decide who's going to have another go came later in the show than the actual match. Stop messing up Stop screwing SmackDown on these pay-per-views. Like, it's not the best of both worlds. It's just Raw and the first hour of SmackDown, and then it's just Raw for 2 hours.
Yeah, and then a filler match.
Yeah.
So
this was a filler match as well.
So what was positionally the semi-main was actually the buffer match between the real main events of the Shield and Taker versus Triple H. Because this went 5 minutes, and it wasn't a fun Brock Lesnar Goldberg 5 minutes. It was, it ended? We had to go back and watch it.
Yeah. It was like it was big, because they were playing it like they were building up to, like, you know, it becoming a crazy, you know, trading of near falls. It was, you know, going to be tight, and then suddenly it's just a roll up and it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, Bryan just
small packaged him to death. Yeah,
reversed the skull crushing finale in a roll up. It really was nothing. AJ's shown watching backstage later. I
nodding his head like, I know how to counter a small package. I'll be fine.
This was. I imagine Miz is going to do a run in the AJ Bryan match, and maybe they continue that, and then maybe it just ends up being AJ versus Joe again and Bryan versus Miz again. It's not making me excited for stuff.
Well, I guess so maybe it could be that, and there are fun options that can come out of this, but this didn't make anyone feel like, oh my god, like we're going to see AJ versus Daniel Bryan, and that's a really big deal. Everyone just fell flat after the match because they're just like, you know, and probably also this was cut for time.
Possibly.
It felt like this was either cut for time because the Taker Triple H thing went on forever, or it was cut because one of them was working injured. Because it felt very safe. There were not a lot happened.
Yeah, I thought it was time. I reckon, but that was overall. I thought it was a fun show overall. It was too long, and the matches were too long. But you had that great Murphy Alexander match. I love the Taker versus Triple H stuff, and John Cena's hair.
It'd be great on fast forward. A lot of this pay-per-view. But I thought it was overall very fun.
I would give it a high in the middle, to like low 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think the Buddy Murphy Cedric Alexander match is a 5-star match. However,
really. Yeah,
it's amazing. However, most other close to very close to 5 stars. Then, like, you know,
it's very
nothing is perfect unless it's in Japan.
Yeah, it was closer than usual.
It was closer to Japan. Yeah, just a short hop away across the little.
That added a quarter of a star.
That's it. But I think that was outstanding. AJ Joe was amazing, and then everything else was settled around like the exact midpoint, I think, of WWE stuff. Like some good, some bad. So I think probably
and some John Cena's hair.
John Cena's hair alone is worth 5 stars.
Yeah. Well, that's all we've got time for on this Saturday edition. We came in for you. Please click the videos below to catch up with the latest WrestleTalk awesome stuff, and this button right here, which will make you a Patreon, because we need you to donate to help making weekly NXT reviews happen. I've been Ollie Davis.
They're already happening.
To keep happening.
Oh, to keep happening. Are we gonna stop doing them?
We passed it for the month of
oh, right, so we've got to
month,
stay high.
But then everyone stopped pledging because
fair.
Patreon, payments get declined and stuff. This has been El Fakador, Laurie Blake.
We're going to take your stuff away if you don't pledge.
That was rambling.